Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
I think these are program awards. I think these are things that you don't get there without a lot of people.
They all have a coffee addiction, and so I don't really know how to take care of them on game day.
This past week, the Michigan State women's soccer team picked up the #1 ranking in the United Soccer Coaches Poll for the first time in program history. It came after the Spartans picked up a 1-0 victory on the road against then #9 Penn State, ultimately helping the Spartans get off to an 8-0-2 start on the season, which is their best start in program history. And recently, we had a chance to catch up with head coach Jeff Hostler about this great start. To start with, what do you think has been the biggest thing that has led to the success this early in the season?
I think it's a group that's hungry. We have a lot of players that came back from last year's team that had a lot of success, experienced a deep NCAA tournament run for the first time, and I think they came back, wanting a little bit more. And our schedule didn't start out easy with a top 15 game right off the bat, followed by another one with Arkansas, and I think we were kind of baptized by fire a little bit that way and learned how to play against elite teams in really tough environments. And our team continues to just find ways to rise at the top.
I know we've talked about how you set up the non-conference play on purpose to get you ready for Big Ten play. How have you seen it 3 games into conference play, especially on the road at Penn State, that non-conference play has really helped you?
Yeah, to have 2 top 10 RPI wins on the road. Notre Dame's an incredible opponent. To do that straight away, I think gave us the experience of knowing we can compete like that on the road because we know how much playing here at DeMartin energizes us and motivates us additionally. But to go on the road as a team, I think anytime you're the road team, you kind of feel like your backs are against the wall and you got to come together a little closer as a group. We've been able to do that to secure those wins. We're 3-0 on the road. I think it speaks to the maturity and professionalism that our group has. I think they know what the goal or objectives are in the day. And they do a really good job throughout the course of the day getting ready for that kickoff too, on their own to get prepared with any final moments they may need and go out and get the result.
Yeah, you've talked about the 3 road wins so far this year. 2 of them are against top 15 opponents. What is it like on the road with this group? Like, what's the routine that you like to have that maybe gets them locked in?
We like to keep them as much routine as possible, but they all have a coffee addiction. And so, I don't really know how to take care of them on game day. They're all over the place, taking care of that to start the day. But at the same time, as much as we're focused in routine, obviously we have all their meals planned and we have meetings throughout the day and that kind of stuff. But we give them a lot of freedom during the day too to get prepared the way they need to. Some kids are nappers, some aren't. As I mentioned, the coffee thing. Some prepare by watching a little more film because they're more visual. Some are talking about different details in the scouting report as it may relate. And honestly, some players are just kind of chilling and checking out a little bit so that they can use all their cognition at match day. So I like being on the road because it is very structured. There's less distractions. They don't have to worry about what to eat or how to get it or how to get to class, if they're going to find a parking spot or any of those kind of things. So I think it narrows their focus, and then maybe they're able to focus on the match a little bit more.
You a big coffee drinker?
I definitely am caffeinated all the time.
How do you take it?
I'm a black coffee guy, so black coffee hot. To keep it simple, I'm not a coffee snob. I'll drink it out of the hotel lobby or whatever. So yeah, I'm not picky when it comes to that, like my team.
3 games into Big Ten play, you've had 2 or you haven't given up a goal. Obviously, Caitlin, where is she really taking maybe an extra step, or where is she really grown in her game to help you guys pitch 2 shutouts?
Flick to Shimon. Shimon outside the 18. Parks again.
A big part of the defending that KP does as the goalkeeper really starts with the attack. Her ability on the ball, her ability with her feet, the decision making that she has, the confidence that she plays with really sets our team in motion. And when we have the ball, obviously we're not going to be conceding goals. But then from the defensive side, in her coming back this year, a lot of it was about her needing to have more aerial presence. It was about, she needs to be able to make all the saves that you're supposed to as a goalkeeper, and then make the extra ones or the highlight ones. And I thought she got to that point a lot better as the year progressed last year, but she started the year that way. She has a lot more swag, a lot more confidence the way she's been carrying herself. And our team believes in her. You know, when KP's in goal, our team knows that she's made good decisions. She's going to have their back. She's going to set us up and get us organized the way we need to. But I would say the two biggest ways she's helped us has been, well, maybe three would be in leadership, and it would be dealing with aerial balls, crosses, and collecting, and then the shot stopping and coming up in big moments with some of those saves also.
Yeah, someone who had a big moment against Nebraska, Jordan Wickus, coming back from injury, and she obviously scored. Seemed very emotional, just the way she's had to battle back from her injury. What are you most proud of with her and how she was able to handle that early season adversity?
Jordan's dealt with a lot of adversity, you know, injury and other over the last 6 to 9 months. And so for her to work through all those things and get her body back now to a place that it's able to compete at the level that we've been accustomed to seeing Jordan play, and to do it in conference play just gives our team a whole nother layer. When you've got a player like that come off the bench, if you remember back in 2022, that first Big Ten championship team, you know, Jordan was our super sub. You put Jordan on, whether it was 5 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes and a half, and she'd score a goal, and she'd find a way to do that for us. So she's a kid that can come in and settle the game down. Obviously a lot of joy that everyone got to witness and see with her scoring, and we're just hoping that kind of, you know, takes the lid off, and she can start pouring in goals now.
Next up for MSU is a home game here at DeMartin Stadium against rival Michigan on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Experience is a big reason for MSU's success this early part of the year, and one of those helping lead the way is graduate goalkeeper Caitlin Parks. We're going to chat with a Maryland native right after the break.
When you're shopping, do you get cash back with cash?
Nope.
What about when you use a debit card?
Not a chance.
But when you use MSU FCU's Cashback Plus?
Heck yeah.
Get up to 20% cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Dining out? Cash back. Online shopping? Cash back. Home improvement? Cash back. Discover more at msufcu.org/cashbackplus.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Heading into last season, Michigan State goalkeeper Caitlin Parks had some big shoes to fill as the program was looking to replace All-American goalie Lauren Kozel. Parks is now in her second year with the program, and our Haley Schoengart had a chance to catch up with her recently to talk about the difference in year 2 versus year 1 and how she is leaving her own legacy here in East Lansing.
You had 11 saves against a top 10 team in Penn State.
To Shimon. Shimon outside the 18. Parks again. Caitlin Parks, have yourself a day.
I was going to say, oh my goodness, Caitlin Parks, because this is a really well-struck ball.
How were you able to have so much success against the Nittany Lions that game?
I think it's just staying in the moment. Like, that's one thing that Jeff kind of is ingrained in us, is to just take it one play at a time and just do what you do best in that moment and just execute it. And so I feel like me and my team are able to do that. So.
Coach Jeff Hostler has continued to elevate this program from the moment he stepped on campus. Where do you credit the success of this team and the ability to do so quickly?
I think it's just really similar to what Jeff said. Like, this is a really gritty team that just is super eager and just knows that we have so much more potential. And so just kind of like fighting every single day, every practice game to just prove ourselves, even though we've had so much success, to just prove that we can keep going and keep developing.
Penn State was your 4th shutout of the year. Where have you seen the biggest jump in your game compared to maybe where you were last year?
I think it's just probably my mindset. I know last year, like, I was really new here and I was just trying to find myself and figure out where I belong. But now that I'm super comfortable with everyone and like we've kind of like grown together, I'm just able to find places to not seem like I need to belong here, but be like, okay, how can I make this environment better, and just show my leadership there. And so I think that kind of like reflects into the game and how I can maybe like encourage one of our freshmen to be like, you can also be a leader in this moment, like, you're welcomed here, so now we can make this space better.
How does Caitlin Parks get ready for a game?
I think I just start the day kind of like focused on the game, and I'll look at a little bit of film, look at our scout sheet, but then kind of like an hour, 2 hours before the game, I just completely like take myself away from it. Just talk to friends, family, maybe get a nap in there or some coffee, but just try to stay away from the game so I'm not too hyper fixated on it. And then when we do arrive to the field, it's like, all right, I'm in the zone. We can then go and play.
When you were in the transfer portal after playing at Wake Forest, what is it that attracted you to Michigan State?
Jeff is a convincing guy. He definitely knows what he wants, and he'll do anything to get that, and I think I was just attracted to that as someone who also just will do anything to win. So just having a coaching staff that has the same ideology, that kind of just like setting it from the start, like we're here to win and we want you to be a part of that. I think that's mostly what attracted me.
You're following in the footsteps of one of the best goalkeepers in Michigan State program history, Lauren Kozel. Did you have any interaction with her before taking over? And if so, what was that like?
Awesome. I was kind of like a little bit of a fan before meeting her because, I mean, she's just really changed the program herself. So just meeting her and just kind of like seeing how she was able to make such a difference, and then coming in just knowing like I'm not Lauren Kozel 2.0, like I'm Caitlin Parks. So just trying to figure out how I can bring myself and not be a replacement, but just in addition to what she's already like set for this program.
What attracted you to goalie?
It's actually kind of funny, like I started a little bit later on, like end of middle school, high school, but I played basketball, so I was like already kind of decent with hand-eye coordination. But one of our keepers got hurt, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it, why not? And then it kind of just stuck, like I would play half in goal, half on the field, which is where I feel like I got most of my skill with my feet from. But yeah, no, I kind of just fell in love with like the isolation it has in those like big moments that I could bring.
Now this is an oddball question for you. Is your major studio art with the concentration in sculpture still?
No, that was my undergrad. I did that with engineering, and then coming here I'm doing more of a digital media, so like graphics design aspect. So.
Okay, so big into art though.
Yeah.
Where did your love for art begin?
I feel like I've just always been that like art nerd. Like growing up, I used to like draw and paint, and then it kind of turned into more of like hands-on 3D, computer 3D modeling. The engineering helped a lot with that, learning the software. So I just like creating and building stuff.
Parks picked up the Big Ten Goalkeeper of the Week honor the week after Michigan State took down Penn State, and a win like that is a big reason the Spartans are still in contention to win their third straight Big Ten regular season championship. Another program on campus looking to win another conference title, the Michigan State hockey team, who recently held Media Day. So we're going to be heading over to Munn Ice Arena right after the break to talk with the reigning Big Ten champs. We'll see you soon.
I love getting out and trying new things. But my seizures have always kept me back. Thankfully, the providers and researchers at MSU Healthcare work together to get my epilepsy under control. So now I can try anything.
At MSU Healthcare, helping you do you is what matters most to us. In fact, it's our mission. Visit healthcare.msu.edu to find a provider.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Michigan State's hockey team is opening up a brand new season on the road at Lake Superior State this weekend. The Spartans are the reigning Big Ten champions and enter the new year ranked 4th in the country. Recently, MSU held its preseason media day here at Munn Ice Arena. Our Tyler Driesengo was there and has more on everything you need to know about this year's group.
A season to remember has heightened expectations around the MSU hockey program. The Spartans bring back 17 letter winners from the team that returned the program to national relevance in college hockey. But the Spartans will also introduce 9 new players this season. The group of newcomers is highlighted by Wisconsin transfer Charlie Stramel. He was the first-round pick of the Minnesota Wild in the 2023 NHL Draft. Heading into his junior year, Stramel is still only 19 years old. The stats he put up in his first 2 seasons at Wisconsin were underwhelming given his pedigree. But MSU head coach Adam Nightingale coached Stramel for 2 years at the U.S. National Team Development Program. He's confident in the player and person he recruited out of the transfer portal.
He's looked good so far, and obviously he's still got to go out and prove it. And I think what I really respect with Charlie is, it was pretty clear when he had an opportunity to transfer, he could go where he wanted, and the message was, Charlie, you got to be better here. Like changing your jersey, that's not going to change this, And he said, no, coach, I got it, and I'm in. So he's got a little fire in his belly right now, which is a good thing.
Stramel is one of 4 players on the Spartan roster who played for Nightingale at the US NTDP, joining goaltender Trey Augustine and forwards Isaac Howard and Red Savage. Savage was voted by his teammates to serve as the Spartans' captain this year.
The Red Savage that you knew as a kid compared to the Red Savage that you found when you came to Michigan State, and now he's the captain here. What are the biggest differences or the ways that you've seen him mature?
Yeah, I think he's matured a lot for sure, but I think he was always very mature for his age, right? Like when I played with him as a kid, he was actually the captain of the U18s, the year I played, or a little bit when I played with him. So he's always been a big voice in the locker room, a very well-respected voice. And yeah, I think not a lot of huge differences. He's always been very mature for his age.
We're around our guys a lot, but we're not on the bus, we're not on the plane, we're not in the weight room every second with them, and we're not back in the apartments with them, and so they really know who the leader is. And I think for me, I think one of the best qualities of being a leader is being genuine, and I really respect that out of Red. Is he doesn't change when I'm around, and I think that's really important. You get sometimes guys that can campaign to be a captain or whatever. He is who he is.
This is only Savage's second season in East Lansing. He spent the first 2 years of his college career at Miami of Ohio. He says he's humbled by the opportunity to wear the C and learned a lot from last season's Spartan captain, now graduated defenseman Nash Nienhuis.
He wasn't always the loudest in the room, but whenever he spoke, everyone listened, and I think that's something that I've learned a lot from, and knowing that I don't always have to be hooting and hollering every day, but when it's my turn to lead, I make sure I lead by example. And yeah, I've been texting back and forth with him throughout the last couple of months, just jogging his brain in little bits and pieces. And yeah, he was a great captain, and I definitely learned a lot from him.
This season is also the 50th anniversary for Munn Ice Arena, and as this wall in the lobby shows, over the years, the place has been home to dozens of future NHL players before they were stars. And with 8 NHL draft picks highlighting the talent on this year's roster, the arena will be packed for every home game.
You think about all the great memories that have been played in here, and what I'm excited about our guys is, again, you look back at how this has kind of gone. Is, there wasn't a ton of people come to our games, and our guys had to earn that, and it wasn't a handout. It wasn't, hey, we're going to give free tickets to try to make us feel like we have a crowd. This is a real crowd, and to the point where I think students' tickets sold out in 4 minutes, and season tickets are sold out. Like you're not going to be able to get a ticket to the games, and our guys are proud of that. But now we got to make sure we keep it.
Another reason there is so much buzz surrounding this year's Michigan State hockey team is because there are 4 players who had opportunities to sign NHL contracts after last season ended, but decided to run it back for another year in East Lansing and chase a national championship. Another person who knows all about chasing championships is former Michigan State football coach Mark D'Antonio, who was back on campus last weekend. We're going to have more on that right after the break.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
This past Saturday, after the first quarter of the game with Ohio State, Michigan State honored former football coach Mark D'Antonio by inducting him into the Ring of Honor at Spartan Stadium. D'Antonio is a part of the College Football Hall of Fame's class of 2024, and before he was inducted into the Ring of Honor at Spartan Stadium, we had a chance to catch up with him to talk about his time at MSU and his journey to becoming a Hall of Famer. The first win of Mark D'Antonio's time as Michigan State's head coach came against the University of Alabama at Birmingham on September 1st, 2007.
Little play action, Hoyer going for the home run up top, perfectly thrown, touchdown
It was a 55-18 win that day and sparked a run to a program record 113 wins.
We came here, we wanted to build a legacy, and I think that's what we did as a program.
A legacy was certainly left in East Lansing, and is why D'Antonio was inducted into the Ring of Honor at Spartan Stadium this past Saturday.
Our own coach, Mark D'Antonio, has been chosen to join this elite fraternity of the game's greatest legends, and will be officially inducted on December 10th in Las Vegas.
I hope every one of these players that are here and everybody that really worked with us closely sees a little bit of their name up on that award, because I think these are program awards. I think these are things that you don't get there without a lot of people.
What D'Antonio was able to do in East Lansing even stood out to former MSU football coach Nick Saban, who won 7 national championships after his time with MSU and is viewed as the greatest college football coach ever. Saban hired D'Antonio as a defensive backs coach to be a part of his first staff at MSU back in 1995.
When I came here for the first time, as one of Nick Saban's assistants, it sort of put this place on the map, and I probably was able to come back probably because of some of the relationships that I had developed at that time.
I spent 10 years at Michigan State. 5 years as a defensive coordinator. We won 1 Big Ten. 5 years as a head coach. We didn't win any Big Tens. We had one really good team at the end, but we didn't win the Big Ten. And I think he's won 3. So, I think it's unprecedented what he's done there.
This game is an important game. So they want to mock us all they want to mock us. I'm telling them it's not over. So they can print all that crap all they want all over their locker room. It's not over. It'll never be over here. It's just starting.
What made D'Antonio's 13 seasons in East Lansing so memorable for a lot of fans was the way he took control of the in-state rivalry.
Bad snap. Bobble. Scooped up. Here come the Spartans. Down the sideline. Racing into the end zone.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Into the end zone.
D'Antonio went 8-5 against Michigan, which included the Spartans winning 8 out of 10 meetings with the Wolverines, the best 10-game stretch in program history. MSU won 3 Big Ten championships under D'Antonio, and after never having an 11-win season prior to his arrival, the program had 5 11-win seasons with plenty of memorable moments at Spartan Stadium.
After further review, the runner did cross the line. Touchdown.
The Spartan fans, tradition of Michigan State, being there with my players, being in the hunt with our players, for whatever, being successful, winning a lot of big games, winning championships, those type of things. So there's a lot of things when you walk back in there, you feel it.
As the program looks to get back to the glory days of D'Antonio, the Zanesville, Ohio native believes current head coach Jonathan Smith can turn things around.
Where I see the direction going with Coach Smith is very, very positive. I watched all the games. They're very resilient as a football team. I think that comes from the head coach. They can play through the smoke, as I used to say. If things bad happen, they can get up and they can go the next play and be successful. So you see that, and this is year 1. Game number 5 coming, and there's a lot of positives to point to, and I think the future is very, very bright.
All in all, D'Antonio spent 41 years in coaching and will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame on December 10th of this year in Las Vegas. Certainly a well-deserved honor, and like always, we appreciate you tuning into this week's show. We hope you enjoyed, and before we go, here's our Play of the Week.
Now, the Play of the Week, sponsored by Schupan & Sons.
Last Friday, the Michigan State men's soccer team was playing at newest member to the Big Ten, UCLA, who was ranked 15th in the country at the time. And Jonathan Stout would use his head to get the Spartans on the board just before halftime. It ended up being the only goal of the game as the Spartans pulled off the upset in California.
We could all use more joy, more silly, more laughter and love. When you make more room in your heart and home for a Michigan child in foster care, you don't just give this joy, you receive it. Become a foster parent to a child until they can safely reunite with their family. Get started at michigan.gov/hope for a home.
When you're shopping, do you get cash back with cash?
Nope.
What about when you use a debit card?
Not a chance.
But when you use MSU FCU's Cashback Plus?
Heck yeah.
Get up to 20% cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Dining out? Cash back. Online shopping? Cash back. Home improvement? Cash back. Discover more at msufcu.org/cashbackplus.